You're right, guys, I've got a brand new slider setup video for you. These sliders have been designed for Title Update 14, fine-tuned to give you a realistic yet enjoyable experience. I'm fairly sure that they will work from now until the very end of FC25, so give them a bash when you see this video. We'll go through the all-important numbers first, because I'm sure some people are just interested in that, and then we'll talk in detail about the changes afterwards. In match settings, we've got the half-length at 6 minutes, with the difficulty level dropping down to legendary. Competitor mode and player-based difficulty are both off. Then move over to the right for simulation settings. Gameplay type is custom. Wind effects medium, weather effects on. Sprint speed for both user and CPU at 32. Acceleration for user and CPU at 54. Shot error for user 56. Shot error for CPU at 63. Pass error for user at 51. Pass error for CPU at 53. Shot speed user 48. Shot speed CPU 48. Pass speed for both user and CPU at 47, injury frequency for both at 60, and injury severity for both at 25. Goalkeeper ability 55 for both user and CPU, positioning marking for user and CPU at 70, run frequency for user and CPU at 35, line height for user 45, line height for CPU 45, line length for user 30, line length for CPU 30. Both line widths are at 55, fullback positioning, both are at 75, power bar for the user at 50, first touch control error for user 74, and first touch control error for the CPU at 76. The next tab is CPU sliders. We want a custom AI behavior with the tackle aggression at 90, build up speed at 92, shot frequency 67, first touch pass frequency at 70, crossing frequency at 85, dribble frequency 55, and skill move frequency at 75. So if you just wanted them numbers, there you go. Tell me down in the comments section if you enjoy them. Let's talk about what's actually changed here from a couple of months ago. I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but the game has got more difficult. Midfielders now have a tendency to drop back and help the defenders, which is great news. It means that we can finally use legendary difficulty instead of the very scuffed ultimate difficulty, and it's made for far more entertaining games. I have a feeling that legendary difficulty, and probably the difficulties below that, use these sliders as an order, whereas ultimate, you can see a difference, but it's certainly not as extreme, especially on the build-up speed. This is basically where your entertainment's coming from, and if you've seen any of my two past videos, build-up speed was a 99. I've actually had to bring it back a little bit, because the computer finally knows how to attack quick. Big thumbs up on that one. Midfielders dropping back is not the only improvement to difficulty. AI are now way more deadly with shots, way more accurate, and with the shot frequency set at 67, you're gonna see the odd long shot going against you, which is great for variety, because the last few years, the AI have done nothing but try and walk it in. And if you set up your defense right, you basically had a chance to win every single game that you played. But now it's not only about sitting back. You might have to engage sometimes, because the AI are happy to take long shots from 20-30 yards out. Because of the increased challenge, there's no disparity in the sprint speed and acceleration numbers. However, if you are finding this slider setup to be a little bit too difficult, you move the acceleration user slider up a little bit. If you find it too easy, you do the exact opposite. I would also suggest a slight decrease in the user acceleration if you have a very good striker in your career mode. If they are super quick and they can easily break through lines, it might make this slider setup a bit redundant unless you do that. One of the other big changes is that marking has been dropped from 75 to 70, giving you a little bit more time on the ball in midfield. This balances out the risk and reward of playing a through ball, doing a skill move, taking a long shot, all very viable with this slider setup. Now, these settings can only go so far. There is still one massive downside of current FC25 gameplay, and that is the fact that headed goals are basically non-existent. If you are playing this game on PC, I do recommend that you check out some gameplay mods that might have addressed that. But these sliders are plug and play on PC, PlayStation, Xbox. If you put these numbers in, you're gonna have a whale of a time. And finally, if you need examples of this slider setup working, you don't need to look any further. We've got Youth Academy career mode on this channel with Chesterfield that will use this from now on. So go and check that out and make your mind mind up from there. I'm sure I can convince you. A subscription on the channel would be great. Give this video a like if you've enjoyed these sliders, if it's helped you breathe new life into career mode. If you suggest any changes, also put that down in the comment section. You might see a slight variation of this setup in the pinned comments if I think something can be tweaked to improve either realism or enjoyment. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.